Yeah. Listen, man, that new intro beat, that should get me fired up. Sound like some hip-hop Avengers shit. Like we got to get Tony Starks on the track. Like we got to get Thor on the track. Have Hulk doing the ad-libs. Black Widow singing the hook. You know what I'm saying? It's another episode of that Victory Talk. We starting a little bit late, man. I got shit to do, bro. This ain't my whole fucking day. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Let's start the show. Yeah. All right. Live from Miami, Florida, it is Victory Talk, the only podcast in North America that teaches you how to build your money muscle mindset and starts 15, 20 minutes late. But it's worth it. It's worth it. It's like, you know, when I went and saw Drake over the summer, man, he was late too. You know what I'm saying? I saw Hove, he was late. Same kind of shit going on here. Anyway, listen, I am your host, Big Brandon Carter, BBC, King Keto, the king of ketosis. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, in the streets, some people call me, you know, I've been blessed with the moniker of Gymnasium Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I hit PRs for your sins. You know what I'm saying? Or hey, Jesus de Gimnasio para mi gente, you know what I'm saying? Out in Dykeman, Washington Heights, they sometimes refer to me as Keto Suave, you know what I'm saying? Because they know what's up. They know what's up with me in the streets. You know what it is. Listen, and I got a guest. Well, not a guest. He's a co-host, the big homie, you know what I'm saying? Nima. You know what I'm saying? Running this shit. Nima was here 30 minutes early, which means he's been sitting in his chair waiting for me for an hour. You think you've been waiting?
It's worth every second.
Come on, man.
Let's go.
My man is securing his. That's called job security right there. That's called job security. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but you have a job too. Your job is to become the best version of yourself you can be, man. And to do that, you only need to do three simple steps. Make a bunch of money. Easy. We show you how. Improve your physical fitness, your muscle, and lose some of that fat boy. And your mindset. Stop being a little hoe, man. And you'll be the fucking man. You know, to help you with that, we have a Discord. Yeah, it's a Discord that accompanies the podcast. It's the Victory Unit. Join the Victory Unit, right? Join that Discord. I got free courses in there. I'm in there giving free advice. I'm going live in there. I go live there all the time, and I'm, you know, answering questions, do live Q&As. You know, here I answer your super chats. You know what I'm saying? I probably won't even see your comment unless Nima puts it on the screen because it was a super chat, or you say something real dope. Nima puts it on the screen. Still doesn't mean I'm gonna see it. Because I'm not looking at that shit. But I see all your super chats for sure. But if you join the Discord when I do a live Q&A, man, you can talk directly to me. Well, you know what I'm saying? And I'm out here answering questions, changing lives. All right. And so join that Discord, and there's a bunch of other champions in there. Everybody in there is making money, improving their money muscle mindset. You want to join too? I got a lot I want to cover today. A lot of stuff I want to cover today. Hold on for a second. But before I get into that, we got a word from our sponsors. This episode 89. Damn. Episode 89 is sponsored by Big Money Methods. This is the newsletter. provides you with methods to make big money. All right. And it's all in the name. It's in the name, right? Big money methods get richer, stronger, and better, right? And me and the homies, we write articles, on that topic. Here's one I wrote, you know what I'm saying? Check that out, you know what I'm saying? Check this one out, the best apps for cardio. I write a lot of articles, but also the homie Chris and the homie Sean, they're in there writing articles, and we really trying to build that up into something special, and it's 100% free. So make sure you download, you subscribe to that immediately. And we're going to be doing some giveaways to subscribers later on this year. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that, man. Different opportunities, maybe some money, maybe some gifts, maybe some exclusive events, for subscribers. And so you want to stay tuned for that, man. That's on the way. All right. And it's free. It's free, man. Damn, it's free. Goddamn. All right. Now, the most important sponsor is Thot Repellent. Thot Repellent is the easy to apply spray to keep the hose away. All right. Now, we've been working on this formula for a long time, right? And the way it works is it's engineered so it only affects the biology of thots, whores, skeezers, 304s, hoes, stank hoes, gold diggers, tramps, and this is new, hood rats. Hood rats, right? Now, any woman who doesn't fit in that category, she will be immune to the effects of Thot Repellent. But when you spray yourself with Thot Repellent, all the hoes, skeezers, hood rats, stank hoes, sluts, all that shit, they're gonna be, they might go into convulsions when they're around you. They're like they won't get close to you, right? And this is work to your advantage, because you might think this girl, listen, man, I'm gonna tell you a story. This is why you need Thot Repellent. I had a friend. We're gonna call him Marlon. That wasn't his name, right? He got this girl pregnant, man, and he was like stressed out about the shit. Fuck, man, this was back in the day when we was all kind of broke, and it was like right before college, and instead of going to college like the rest of us, right? Not the rest of us, most of us didn't, right? But instead of going to college, what my man did was he said, I'm gonna get a job and take care of my responsibility as a man. He started raising this kid. You know what I'm saying? He builds a bond with this child, raising his kids. He's changing diapers. He's sacrificing for this kid. 2 years go by. He's like, man, this kid don't really look like me. This kid don't really look like me. And he's a little suspicious. We was all suspicious too. You know what I'm saying? He's like, hey, nigga, you light skin. Your girl's light skin. This baby look like Wesley Snipes. This baby. You and your girl are both piss colored like me. Beige or golden, toasted. But your fucking kid look like his first word is going to be Wakanda forever. Papa, what is this? Daddy. Daddy, I want to watch Sesame Street. That's what the kid was looking like. It was going to sound like, man. Kid was black as... Beautiful kid, beautiful child. Black is beautiful. It's Black History Month, right? But it was just, we were all skeptical. How the fuck did this kid get so fucking dark, man? Why does this nigga look like Don Cheadle? You know what I'm saying? And you look like Chris Brown. What's happening? Does this nigga be in the sun all day, or let the kid inside? So he went and got I think you guys know the story. I think you guys know what's happening. He went and got DNA test on the child. damn. It's not, it wasn't you are not the father. And he was, on Maury. When you watch Maury, motherfuckers get up and they start doing the happy dance. Motherfuckers might do the James Brown. Motherfuckers start dancing like fucking Usher. When they find out it's not the child. Nah, man, my man was hurt because he had built a bond with this kid. He was trying to be a good man, a good father. Trying to break the cycle of fatherless children in the hood, Southside Chicago. Found out it wasn't his kid, and he had made all the sacrifice. He was like, well, whose kid is it? Bitch said, I don't know. I don't fucking know. It looked like fresh. Somebody said it looked like fresh. I ain't want to say nothing. It was fresh. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. The kid was looking like you put that kid in a black jumpsuit, man, look like a goddamn baby shadow. Look like a silhouette of a child. If you was wearing all black. Beautiful though. Black is beautiful. Black History Month, It's just and it was sad. Had he had thought repellent, he would have never ended up in that situation because he would have known the chick was a skeezer. You know what I'm saying? He would have known the chick was a hood rat, good for nothing stank hoe instead of a good woman. You know what I'm saying? And he would have, stayed away. We even have, you can see on the back, there's a like the Ghostbusters thing. You know what I'm saying? That's a thought. Good women, your mama don't be getting low like that. I mean, there's a lot of people watching. Some of your mamas are doing that as we speak, are in this position. You know what I'm saying? That's why some of y'all gonna have to be careful wearing this at family functions. Because your mom might fucking just start throwing up. Your sisters are going to convulsions. You don't know what tea on. You know what I'm saying? But it matches the DNA structure of a whore. And it repels them. You're gonna need that, brother. You don't want to end up like my man who had T'Challa's baby, who's raising T'Challa's baby on accident. You don't want that to happen to you. That's why we put together thought repellent. All right. And all your super chats go towards research and development for thought repellent. Now we're past the research phase. We finally passed testing, and now we're in the production phase.
Yes, we are.
This is really coming out. This is really going to be launched
sooner than you think.
Way sooner than you think. All right. But in order to do that, we need your help. Right? Because listen, every day. Oh, that was the wrong one. Every day in America, a good brother falls victim to one of these thoughts, and we could stop that. We can stop that, and your super chats will help. All right. And I think we have some heroes before we get into who've already donated to the cause.
Let's go. Okay, let me put some of them up. Let's start actually. This one. Ibuki33 $20 is saying, yo, Brandon, I'm thinking about getting into sales since I've seen how much money people make. Still working 2 jobs because of you at 20 years old.
Come on, man. Let's go.
And we'll have 15K saved by May.
Come on, hold on, man. That's what I'm talking about. Every once in a while, somebody says, oh, working 2 jobs. I don't want to work that hard. But this brother, man, he's 20 years old and he got 15K saved almost, right? There was a time in recent history, where like working hard was a fucking something that people was an attribute that people respected, and somehow men lost their way and they like don't want to work hard no more, man. But I've been a strong proponent of this over the years, and it really makes me happy. Like, I don't know, all jokes aside, when men are just doing what's necessary to improve their lives and the lives of their family and their future families, and to know that I had that kind of impact on this brother. And when I see you on the streets and y'all tell me that, like, I'm super proud of you guys, man, for sure. Let's give that brother a round of applause, man.
Let's go. Yeah. He's actually asking, he's still not sure if he wants to go to the college. So it's not a question, but. Oh,
he's just showing love.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I do understand that I'm old, right? And I ain't been to college. When I went to college, it was the year 2000. Goddamn. George Bush Jr. was in office, right? It seemed like forever ago. And it's like he wasn't. Nah, matter of fact, it was still Clinton was still in office. It was the year George Bush was running. That's when he got elected. But anyway, so it was a long time ago. And I understand the world is different. You know, as a general rule, and I respect this brother, you know, but just as a general rule, if you're asking strangers on the internet for life advice, college, more education is probably not a bad thing for you, right? As a general rule, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't, you know, because just statistically, college graduates make more money. Like I've shown the statistics, you can Google it. Like just, I mean, of course, there's outliers. Of course, there are outliers, but statistically, college graduates make more money. And just one thing I've noticed is that a lot of the guys on the internet telling you not to go to school, man, they got a course to sell. I mean, like that. I'm not saying anything. I'm not casting aspersions on these brothers, you know. But it's a trend I've noticed. Hey, don't go to college. Hey, don't go to college. College is a scam. Now, if you click the link in my bio, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. There's something about that. I don't know. It's just something I noticed. But I'm proud of you either way. No matter what you decide, I think with your work ethic, you're going to find a way to succeed and to win no matter what.
All right. Dylan is asking, I'm 150 pounds and 19% body fat right now, and I'm on a bulk. If you were me, would you continue the bulk or get back to the sub 15% body fat?
I would say you want to get under 15% body fat, you know, because, you know, pro bodybuilders, they get like super fat in the off season, right? Let you know, let me show you something. One second. Right. So if you look at, you know, bodybuilders off season versus oh, that is not going to show because my thing is in the way. Here's the homie Lee Priest. Oh man, damn. All right, that's not good. Let me just click on images. Oh, you moved the thing? Okay. All right. So you know, like here's like Lee Priest in the off season, you know, looking all crazy versus competition. And you pro bodybuilders do that, right? And that's where this whole idea kind of was popularized. You know, a lot of the fitness advice we get was passed down from a lot of these pro bodybuilders, right? And it makes sense because it stands to reason. Hey, this guy got in great shape. But the problem with that strategy is if you're natural and you go on a bulk like this and you get all big, and if you're natural, what happens when your body fat gets over 15%, your testosterone levels start to drop. And the higher you go over 50%, the more it exacerbates that situation, right? So your natural testosterone starts to drop, which means, you know, if you keep getting fatter, it's going to be even harder to put on muscle, and it's going to be easier to retain fat. And now a pro bodybuilder, like the guys like Lee Priest, and I'm not talking shit about Lee Priest, but you know, everyone knows that these pro bodybuilders are, you know, they're doing a lot of performance enhancing drugs. It's part of the sport, you know, and they don't have to worry about that. Right, like me, I'm on TRT, right? So, you know, shit, man, like a lot of this shit doesn't even pertain to me no more. I can do all types of shit, and my testosterone will be right where I set it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're natural, that's a problem you're gonna have. And when you get bigger like that, when you get fat, you might put on some muscle, but you're getting fat. It's gonna be difficult to lose the fat and maintain the muscle if your testosterone drops. A pro bodybuilder doesn't have that problem. You get what I'm saying? And here's the part about that people don't tell you, right? So fat cells. Okay, here's what happens with a cell. Right? Let's say this is a fat cell. Right? Boom. Let's say it's a fat cell. And what happens is fat cells, they grow, and then what happens? Then they split. Right? And they divide. That's what cells do. Right. But once your fat cells grow, once you get more fat cells and even when you lose fat, you don't lose fat. You don't like have less cells. The fat cells just get smaller. But because you were fat, and this might be discouraging to people who are fat now, Hey, but you are where you are. You got to do what you do, right? Once you've been fat, and the fat cells shrink when you lose weight, for sure, but you still got more fat cells. So it'll be easier for you to get fatter over the time. Unless the only way to get rid of fat cells is like to actually get rid of fat cells is liposuction, right? So that's the problem with getting super fat. The cells start dividing, and now you have more fat cells. And this is why you see motherfuckers sometimes, man, you know, anybody who's been fat is probably going to be a big concern for them for a long time because fat cells don't go away. and people don't believe me. People like never heard that before. So here's just, I don't know. You can Google it, but is it right? According to scientists, fat cells never really disappear. When someone starts to lose weight, the size of the fat cells decrease and shrink. They do not burn away, as some people may believe. And I didn't have time to, you know what I'm saying? Okay, here's a study from Yale University. Study, new fat cells are created quickly, but dieting can't, what is it going to say? But dieting can't eliminate them, right? This is from Yale University, and here's a link to the study. See, yeah, it's a real study. I'm not going to fucking read all this shit. But you know, you check that shit on your own. That's what I'm saying. You never want to get too motherfucking fat, right? 19% is like, hey, bro. All right, let's get back to cutting. You know what I'm saying? Real shit.
All right, we got.
Oh, I'm sorry. So what I do is, you know, if I'm bulking to the point where I feel like, all right, I'm starting not to see my abs as much. Maybe my face is starting to get fat, starting to look like an emoji a little bit, looking like Mr. Pac-Man and shit. All right, then I'm like, all right, cool. Let me go back on the cut. You know what I'm saying? And get lean again. Right. So I'm always kind of oscillating between bulking and cutting. Yeah.
Right. You got Gymnasium Aquaman. Actually, that's a good question.
It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one.
It's saying, what's up, BBC? The high ticket trainer program where the focus is fitness. Would you ever come out with a Victor unit course that could serve as a framework to run most service-based businesses?
You know, the problem with going like super general is when you teach anything super general, it's hard for it to be potent, right? Because I focus strictly on a fitness business. The information is very potent, right? And there are parts of it. It's a lot of the sales and the marketing stuff can be extrapolated and applied to a variety of businesses. However, some of the things that I teach as far as like how to train your clients online, how to make sure they get great results, some of these things are very specific to my niche as of online trainers. And is if I went like super broad, just broad business, regular business, it'd be difficult for me to have that same amount of potency, right? But because I focus on one thing, teaching one kind of person, one thing, and this is a good business lesson, right? Because I focus on teaching one kind of person, one thing, it's like, and I've been doing it for so long, one, I'm better at it than anyone, right? And I actually did it since the fucking early 2000s, right? So I'm legit better at it than anyone. And I've trained more people on this one thing than probably anyone on the planet. Like real shit. You know what I'm saying? All my competitors, what happens is they start going, oh man, I want to expand into broad business. They all do that. They do that for two reasons. One, shiny object syndrome, right? Motherfuckers can't stay focused, right? Like children. Two, they if it was really successful, they wouldn't have to fucking do anything else, right? Like Cadillac doesn't need to start making motorcycles and shit, right? Like because the fucking Cadillacs is selling, man. You know, like you know what I'm saying? You don't need to do some other shit if the shit you're doing is fucking really working really well, right? Like Apple computers is not coming out with energy drinks and shit, you know, like because like this shit they doing is like kind of working, you know. that being said, I teach people other stuff, but I'll give that stuff away for free. Like we might do a sales thing. We're going when we get to 20,000 Victory Unit members in the Discord. I think we're at like 16 or 17,000 right now. When we get to 20,000, I'm gonna do a free sales course, and that's stuff to be applicable. And there's gonna be marketing stuff in there too. I think I answered the question. Maybe I was just rambling. All right, we got one more super chat, and then we're gonna get into the lessons for today.
Okay, we got Jonathan Rodriguez. If you Thot won a ring, I tell her go win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Shout out my homie Alfredo, Freddy Thor. Shout out King Kiddo.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The only ring you getting is the one you cleaning out the tub, ho. You know what I'm saying? All right. Hey. A lot of times people tell me they lack motivation, and I want to give you I want to fix that for you today in this episode with some habits. I got some habits and I'm gonna share with you guys that'll help you fix that in the segment we like to call Habits of a Winner. Man, that shit is hard. I made the new beats. I'm good at a lot of things. All right. In this video, I want to give you 5 ways to boost your motivation fast. If you're in a slump, if you feel unmotivated, if you feel like you can't accomplish your goals, or you don't have the vigor or the motivation or the drive to really go after your goals and accomplish them, this video will help. And I'm gonna give you 5 things. Now, first thing you need to understand is that motivation is not always dependable, right? Nobody is motivated 100% of the time. It's very important. Nobody is motivated 100% of the time, right? So what you're going to need is some discipline as well, because motivation means, man, I feel like it. I'm excited. I'm going after it, right? You don't need discipline if you're motivated, right? But when you're not motivated, you need discipline, because discipline means you do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, whether you feel like it or not. All right. It's very important. Now we're going to talk about discipline as well in this video, but discipline is harder than motivation. So if you can get some motivation, then accomplishing your goals will be easier. I just want to preface this video by knowing it's not 100% dependable, but it will put you in position. It will put you in a better position to succeed if you can get it. And here's some things you need. And here are 5 tips on building your motivation. Number 1, do not waste your dopamine. Okay. So dopamine is a neurochemical that your brain produces. And the more dopamine you have, the more motivation you'll have, right? When you see somebody who's like really going after it all the time, really accomplishing all their goals and seem like they have a ton of energy, it's that person may have a lot of discipline, but more than likely that person is very dopamine. More than likely that person has a lot of dopamine in the system as well, right? You need dopamine to have motivation. Dopamine and motivation are, how do I put this? It's a better way to phrase this. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter that is actually responsible for motivation and drive. All right. And when your dopamine levels are high, you feel incredible, right? Your quality of life and your well-being, and actually the amount of pleasure that you can experience, is in direct proportion to the amount of dopamine that is in your system at any given time, right? But the problem is people waste their dopamine. So I want you to think about dopamine as almost like, let's say this. Let me draw this. Let's say I'm gonna draw this bucket. Let's say this is a bucket, right? And in this bucket is dopamine. Everyone has a baseline level of dopamine, right? However, when you get what's called a dopamine spike, or when you do something that really, when you do something that really spikes your dopamine, right? What happens is your dopamine levels shoot up. What happens is you actually lose. What happens is you actually use the dopamine that's in your bucket, for lack of a better term, right? And then after that, your dopamine levels are low. Now, here's the thing. Your dopamine levels will rise back up to baseline over time, right? But here's the problem. What happens is most people, right? People who say they're unmotivated all the time. What happens is, oh man, they'll play some video games. All right, that's going to use some dopamine, right? Then they'll go on social media, scroll social media, get some dopamine hits there, right? Then they'll at night, man, maybe they go to the bar and drink, right? And they're doing all these things that take away from that. They're doing all these things that actually use their available dopamine, and they never give their dopamine reserves chance to replenish, right? So the key is to not waste your available dopamine on bullshit. You want to keep it there because it's a renewable resource, but you want to use the dopamine in your bucket to deploy against your goals. Because if you use it all on pornography, social media, video games, those things aren't bad within themselves. But if you use all your dopamine on that, you've kind of squandered this tool that should be used to deploy against your goals, right? So what you want to do is you want to avoid cheap dopamine. And cheap dopamine are things, cheap dopamine consists of, but are not limited to, casual sex, social media, swiping Tinder, video games, excessive partying, recreational drugs, drinking, shit like that. These things actually spike your dopamine, and you're gonna be in a dopamine. Your dopamine reserves will be depleted after engaging in these activities, right? So you want to actually guard. You actually want to limit your consumption of these vices. Basically, pretty much all vices will use up your available dopamine, right? And you probably won't get any of it back until you went to sleep or something, because a lot of times it's created while you sleep, right? Don't want to waste your dopamine, because if you waste it, you won't have motivation. But even if you don't understand, I tried to make that biological part of this, as easy as possible. But even if you just look at it from a rational point of view, right? Let's say you go out, let's say you're one of these work hard, play hard motherfuckers, right? And you go out to some nightclub, right? Boom. All right, that's gonna be dopamine. It's crazy, right? And you're meeting all these new people, because dopamine, novelty sparks dopamine, right? All right, so you're meeting these new people, the fucking music's dancing. I'm sorry, the music's playing loud, boom, 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 right? You're meeting these new people, novelty. Maybe you start drinking. Maybe you start doing some recreational drugs. Maybe you have casual sex with some chick you just met. Boom, right? Now all your dopamine's used up. But let's put that aside. Just the contrast of that night, then you got to go do accounting for your business the next day, or some boring, when you do all this crazy exciting shit, the fucking boring shit that you have to do to succeed, there's going to be some boring shit you have to do to succeed, is going to seem even more boring. Just in contrast. The regular shit is going to seem even worse in comparison to that, right? So you really have to guard your dopamine. What that looks like for me is, I don't drink. I don't do any recreational drugs. I don't really go out to nightclubs or parties. I still have fun, but it's not, it's not this over the top, ragers where I got to recover the next day for that shit. I don't do that because I need my energy, right, to deploy against my goals, but I also know that I got to guard my dopamine because dopamine is motivation, right? Without motivation, without dopamine, there is no motivation. All right. And there are some things you can do that will increase your dopamine, right? They will increase your baseline dopamine without causing some peaks. So what you could do, and these things have been shown to increase your baseline dopamine, right? Without the drop that comes after it, right? So one of them is cold therapy, right? Cold showers. I do cryotherapy. I do cold showers. Cold. Some people do cold plunges and shit, but I don't. But I do cold showers and I go to cryotherapy a few times a week. And cryotherapy has been shown. I'm sorry. Cold exposure has been shown to increase baseline dopamine by 200% or more, depending on the duration. And there's studies that back that up, right? In fact, back in the day, before like drugs were invented and shit, they used to treat depression with cold therapy. Cold exposure was like a depression. Cold exposure was a tool they utilized to treat depression because it spikes dopamine. They didn't know that at the time. They just knew when they threw a motherfucking some cold shit, he wasn't as sad later, right? So cold showers, working out increases baseline dopamine. Caffeine actually increases baseline dopamine momentarily. And there's this one drug, L-tyrosine. It's not a drug. L-tyrosine. It's an amino acid, and you can get it from Amazon or offline, and it's been shown to increase dopamine for a brief period of time, baseline dopamine without the subsequent drop, right? So that's the first thing you got to do. Increase. The first thing you got to do is guard your dopamine. Now, the next thing you need to do to increase your motivation is more psychological. See, the first one was biological, right? Right. You can't outdiscipline biology. That's one thing you should understand. Biology will always win. You cannot outdiscipline biology, right? So the first tip was biological. Second tip, psychological. And if you've been watching any of my content, you may know what's coming. It's called the list of hate. The list of hate. When I talk about the list of hate, there's always someone in the comments, probably a variety of people, maybe even you, who said, "Oh man, you shouldn't hate people. You shouldn't use hate, man. You should use love," or some corny shit like that, right? And I understand what you're saying. I'm just giving you a tool, right? Take it or leave it. But what you want to do is make a list of everybody who's crossed you, everybody who's done you wrong, anyone who said you couldn't do it, you couldn't accomplish your goals. Even think back in the time, right? Right. Even think back way into the past, right? Everyone who's crossed you, everyone who said you couldn't do it, right? Women who cheated on you, bitches who rejected you, all types of shit. Put them on the list, right? And look at that list every morning and know that the only way to get back at these motherfuckers is to succeed, right? Now, before you start talking some old corny shit, Frank Sinatra said, Sammy Davis Jr. is the only nigger I'm letting in here. That was his main thing he said. But he also said, the best revenge is massive success. Massive success, right? And That's the only way to get back at these people. You can't fuck them up. You're going to catch a case. You're going to go to jail, or you might lose the fight, right? But even if you did win the fight, right, that's not the best revenge. The best revenge is massive success, because then they got to live with that shit. They got to live with the regret of hating on you, man. And if they said you couldn't do it, and then you don't do it, remember, they weren't hating on you, were they? They were just right. It was just an accurate assessment of your capabilities, right? If they were wrong, you got to prove them wrong, right? And you use that fuel to deploy against your goals. Now, people think it's negative because they're stupid. Listen, this is a positive thing, because it makes you invincible. It actually makes you invincible. So the more you succeed, the more people are going to hate on you, right? It happens all the time. I got nerds, straight up dorks, making videos about me and shit, every once in a while. And, instead of it hurting me or hurting my feelings or, whatever, it's just more like, it's just more fuel. So I took the negative thing and I use it as a positive to deploy against my goal, and I succeed more, right? It makes me invincible. It's like judo, right? The thing that was meant to hurt you, in judo, you use your opponent's body weight against them to fuck them up. This is the same thing. Like, you're using their hate as fuel for your ambition, right? So and that's the reason it's positive. It's a positive thing for you, because you're not hurting anybody. You're not doing anything bad. You're using this negativity and transmuting it into something positive. Positive for you, negative for the haters. and it makes you actually invincible. So when someone shits on you, when someone talks shit about you, when somebody hates on you, then it's like, yes, nice, put them on the list, let's go. Let's go. And I suggest you look at that list every morning, right? That's how I start my day. And anytime I don't feel like doing what I'm supposed to do, anytime I feel like I need more motivation, I just look at the list. It's right there. Apple Notes, pinned to the top. First thing I see when I wake up. You know what I'm saying? And it really gets you going. It gives you fuel, at least that fuel to get started, right? And then, you won't need it once you get in the groove. Once you get in the zone, you might not need that anymore, right? And then you get to a point where you don't need it, but nobody's motivated all the time. Nobody's just naturally motivated all the time. But the list of hate, man, I'm telling you, man, that shit'll get you going. And the beauty of this is, the more you succeed, the more people are going to hate. The more you succeed, the more people are going to hate. Everybody. Like, they killed Martin Luther King, right? He seemed like a pretty good, cool dude. You know what I'm saying? He did some good things, right? They killed Abraham Lincoln. He saved America. This would be two countries right now. He actually saved the Union, freed the slaves, and it seemed like he was a success. He was our greatest president, right? And they killed him. They killed Jesus. They killed Jesus. So you think that you're not going to get hate? You think nobody's going to hate on you? Of course they will. And it's easy to say, oh, you just shouldn't care. Shut the fuck up. Anyone who says that, they're just talking bullshit, because the human brain was not designed to not care. You know what I'm saying? For the majority of human history, we lived in tribes of 1 to 200 people. And if you were ostracized from that tribe for whatever reason, then you had a high likelihood of dying almost immediately, either by other animals or other tribes, right? In order to survive, we had to conform to the norms of the tribe. So over time, the human brain has actually been conditioned to conform to the people who are around us, right? So negativity is supposed to hurt, because we are descendants of the people who survived by conforming, right? And I'm not telling you to conform. I'm just telling you that to not feel pain when someone hates on you, right? To say you just shouldn't care. It's just not how the human brain is designed. It's not designed. I'm telling you, you don't have to care. You use that. You don't have to not care. I'm telling you, you can you can use our evolution to your advantage because you evolved to care, because you are descendants of people who cared, right? In fact, if they didn't care, you wouldn't be here, right? They wouldn't have passed their genes down, because you can work with that biology and use it to deploy against your goals. Everyone tells you that you shouldn't care. Yeah, it makes sense, but it's just not how the fucking human brain is wired. So instead of pretending it doesn't care or ignoring it or whatever, we're going to use that. We're going to use it as fuel, right? We're going to use it as fuel. Lift the hate. That's number 2. Number 3. We're going back to biology here. That was psychology. This is biology. Get enough sleep. Get enough sleep, because your dopamine, a lot of your dopamine is made when you are sleeping. It's made at night, right? And that's when your brain replenishes its dopamine reserves. And how do you know if you get enough sleep? How do you know how much is enough for you? Well, it really depends on the person. So what I do is I track my sleep. I wear what's called an oura ring at night. And not only do I track, not only does it track the quality, not only does it track the quantity of my sleep, but also the quality. So first the quantity of my sleep, right? It's how long was I actually asleep, not how long I was in bed. See, most people, they just think about, oh, I slept 8 hours. Really, they might have been in bed 8 hours. Who knows how much of that was actually sleep? You get what I'm saying? So I might be in bed 10 hours, but 2 of those hours, I might have been up having wild animal interracial sex with my girlfriend, right? I might have been having unprotected interracial sex all night with my big booty Dominican girlfriend. That's something I like to do, but I can't count that as sleep. Or, sometimes I don't sleep as well, right? It actually tracks how much I sleep. Actually, it knows when you go to sleep, but also the quality of your sleep, right? It tracks the amount of REM sleep you get. It tracks the amount of light sleep, REM sleep, and deep sleep, right? It's the REM sleep and the deep sleep you want to control. So even if you're getting 8 hours, what kind of quality of sleep are you getting in those 8 hours, right? You don't know unless you're tracking it. So I'm not saying you have to use the oura ring. They don't pay me. I will take the money if you motherfuckers want to give a motherfucker some cash. But this is what I use. Or you can use the Apple Watch, or you can use the Whoop. There's a Fitbit. There's a lot of devices that do that, but you should have some sort of sleep tracker. This also tracks the calories I burn each day, right? Which is steps I walk, but at least the sleep. There's a few things I found that help me get better sleep. One, I make the room as cold as possible. As cold as possible, because studies show that most people sleep better when they're in a cold environment. I also got this mattress pad that goes on my bed. It's called the chili pad, and it's connected to this contraption that goes next to it. It's like a little refrigerator, and I put like water in it, and it rushes cold water underneath the mattress pad. So it feels like, the cool side of your pillow. You know how it feels good, but it only lasts a few minutes until your body heat warms that pillow up. Imagine your whole body felt like the cool side of the pillow, but all night. Think you sleep better? I know I did. I know I do. And I track it. I get more deep sleep and REM sleep because I keep the room cold, and I take the chili pad. And I use the chili pad. And as a result, I know that I only need to be in bed for 7 hours of sleep. I only need to be in bed for 7 hours. This is me, right? I can be in bed 7 hours, but even though it's less sleep than was typically prescribed, the quality of my sleep is way better than it was before, or than most people's, right? And as a result, I have more dopamine rushing through my system, and just more energy, right? If you are tired, it's difficult to be motivated if you're fucking sleepy, right? If you're tired, you might as well be retired, right? Because you ain't gonna be able to outwork a motherfucker with tons of energy who's well rested, right? So that was another biological one. Here's another psychological tip, right? One thing I do that I think that I've noticed separates me from some other people, right? One of the reasons I've been able to accomplish so much is I had this weird thing where I take pride in doing things that other people think are difficult, right? So I'm not sure. I have a I have a tip on how you can develop this, but first let me just tell you what it looks like. It looks like, when you see something and it's difficult, and a lot of people say, "Oh man, I don't want to work that hard," or "Man, I don't want to do that," or "Man, that's a lot of discipline." I think to myself, for example, I weigh everything I eat, even at restaurants, everywhere I go, right? That's why I'm 41 years old and I look like this, you know what I'm saying? Where most guys my age are looking like fat slobs. And I whipped my scale out at a restaurant and I'm weighing my food. And I was with some people and somebody said, "Oh man, that takes a lot of discipline. You do that all the time." And I just said, "Oh yeah, it's not for everybody, man. I'm an extremist. That's all." Right. And just trying to be nice. Right. But in my mind, I was like, "Bitch." Oh, because she was like, I could never do that. I could never have that much discipline. And I was thinking, bitch, there's all types of shit I do that you couldn't do. And weighing my fucking food, controlling the amount of food I put in my mouth is the fucking least impressive thing on that list, on that long, exhausted list of shit I do better than you, right? I'm a psycho. But because I'm a nice person, or I try to be, I was like, "Oh yeah, man, it's not for everybody." This is what I didn't want to make it feel bad, but I did take pride in it. I liked that they said they couldn't do it, right? And it's this weird pride you want to take in working hard and being tough. So when you're not motivated, right, you can get motivation from knowing this is when regular motherfuckers will quit. This is when the motherfucking suckers are throwing the towel. This is the part that separates me from my competitors. This is the part that will help me shit. This is the part that will allow me to shit on the haters. And this is the reason, because I'm gonna keep going when everyone quits. This is the reason why I will succeed. This is the reason why my kids' future is gonna be better than my past. Right? This is where I lay down my legacy. And I just kind of think about that all the time. Every time I get to the points where I feel like quitting, or like, "Oh man, it's tough right now." I'm like, nah, this is the point where the fucking losers will quit. This is where the regular motherfuckers will quit. This is where the fucking chumps will stop. This is what separates the chumps from the champs. The winners from the whiners. You know what I'm saying? The pros from the hoes. You know what I'm saying? And I think about that, and I remind myself of that all the time. Every time I hit that point, this is the point where the fucking regular people will quit. This is why I'm better than them at this, right? I'm sure that woman has redeeming qualities, outside of her diet choices, right? If you can start to cultivate that attitude, then you get motivation from that. So it kind of flips when you recognize, man, I don't feel like doing this. And if you can just remind yourself, oh, this is when motherfuckers quit. And knowing that your superiority will actually come from you doing what they want. If you can just remember that and cultivate that and make that a part of your personality, you will run circles around these motherfuckers the way I have. Now let's take it back to biology, right? Diet, right? Again, it's difficult to out discipline biology, right? So if you are actually tired, if you actually lack energy, it's difficult to be motivated, right? Motivation and energy go hand in hand. There's a quote that somebody said, I don't know where it comes from, but it says, "Fatigue makes cowards of us all," right? So one of the main things you can do is one of the main things you can do to increase your motivation is to manage your energy with your diet. We already talked about sleep, but diet plays such a huge role. And you got to find out what works for you. Right? What track your food, track your intake, and you can see what diet works best for you. I highly suggest, just for 30 days, you wear a continuous glucose monitor, right? Because what happens with glucose is when you eat certain foods, especially foods that are high in carbohydrates or especially simple carbohydrates, what happens is when your body converts those carbohydrates into glucose or glycogen. And when your blood glucose levels go above 110, your pancreas secretes a hormone called insulin, right? And insulin's job is to flush the extra glucose out of your system, right? And, you'd be in big trouble if it didn't happen. It's a good thing. However, it's indiscriminate, right? So it'll take it from all parts of your body, including your brain. And this is one of the reasons why sometimes after a big meal, people are lethargic. They don't have as much energy, and I'm not saying you have to go keto like me, but I know 100%. If you're really serious about having more motivation and more energy, you should wear a continuous glucose monitor for a month, right? And just see how different foods affect your glucose levels. And you'll notice that when your glucose levels are spiky throughout the day, that day you have way less energy. When the more stable your glucose levels are, the more stable your glucose levels are, the more energy you'll have, right? Because that insulin, when there's too much insulin running through your body, you're going to get tired, right? It's the spikes in glucose that really wreak havoc on your energy. And if your energy is low, your motivation will be low, right? Now, when I wore, because I do the ketogenic diet, when I wore a continuous glucose monitor for a month, most of the days it thought that I was fucking fasting because my glucose levels were so low and stable. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go keto like me, right? But just some quick tips. If you are going to eat carbohydrates, make sure you eat protein with the carbohydrates. That's been shown to kind of keep glucose levels a little more stable. But that's just one tip. I really, really think you should wear the glucose monitor for a month and just see how different foods affect your glucose levels and your energy, right? Really just keep track of it, and then you'll be able to make better decisions. Even me, I found that there was some foods I wasn't aware of that was spiking my glucose levels, even though I was on keto. Not crazy spikes, but low spikes, right? I have a video all about this topic, and I go into way more detail. You should watch that, right? Watch that video right now. I promise you'll find it helpful. All right. I think we got some super chats.
Yes, we do. I'm just going to take a quick note here.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Yeah, we got 3 champions.
Okay.
Over here, let me put the banner. There we go. Okay. This one actually was from Beck.
Okay.
Phil is asking, gut family that pissed me off. Would you put them on the list of hate? Actually, he asked this before you even mentioned it.
Before I even said it, man. Look at him.
He says, should I put them on the list of hate? I don't want to be angry at them forever. How would you handle that?
Listen, here's the thing. You're angry at them now, right? And right now it's a bad thing. Once they're on the list of hate, it's a good thing. Because you think about it, you're using this energy as fuel. You're taking something bad that actually, when you feel bad and you have all this anger and there's nowhere for it to go, it can fuck with your productivity, right? Unless you're using it as fuel. So I got family members on my list of hate, man. I'll take them off, at some point, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I can't tell you what to do. But at the same time, I am not the best person to ask about family shit because I got sent away to military school when I was in high school. And I don't have the same relationship with my family as you people who were raised by your mother and father, right? My parents decided to outsource the raising of their kids. And so it's a little different from me. I'm not even as affectionate, because, when you get sent away to a military school, all boys military school, who are you affectionate with? No one. Right. And I can just train myself to just, I'm not very affectionate at all. So I might not be the best person to ask for family advice for that reason. Right.
Okay. We got Space Shoes is asking, what's your thoughts on the nicotine patch?
I got one on them right now. I love nicotine though. It's not advice.
We talked about it.
Yeah. I'm just a big fan of nicotine. But there are studies that show that nicotine acts as a nootropic. It's like a powerful nootropic that can help you be more productive. But even if the studies didn't show that shit, I just enjoy nicotine. I you know, I got a patch on as we speak. I buy the same level, you know, with the patch, you're supposed to like drop down level so you can quit. I just keep buying the fucking the hardest one because I'm not trying to quit. I'm it's recreational, you know. I like it. It's not advice though. I'm not telling you guys what to do.
Nav is asking, how do you manage friendships while working all the time? I find it hard to do.
Yeah, you know, you probably won't do it that well, you know. You know, I have friends and shit, right? But I probably don't spend as much time doing anything recreational as most people, right? Because I'm going so hard. But a lot of I end up doing stuff with my friends, or the people I do stuff with become my friends, you know. And like my best friend, white boy Brian, he's you know, he's the manager of my sales team. You know what I'm saying? So it ends up just being like that. And that's okay. In fact, you know, you only have one life. People say work-life balance, but if you can integrate things, right, you know, then you don't have to balance work and life. Oh, spend some time with it. You can just do it all, right? I mean, the only time I do shit that's not work, you know, it's like when I'm, you know, fucking my girlfriend. Or hanging out with my kids or my son or my niece. My niece and nephew. I call them my kids, you know, but they're not my kids. You know, they are kids in my family. Like, but yeah, you know, it's just I don't know. I probably just don't spend as much time with friends as most people, and that's okay. I'm cool with that.
You also mentioned it in one of the videos. You mentioned you mostly make money with your friends.
Me and my best
business.
Friend, we make money together. I have some friends that we haven't made no money together. But we're still friends. We you know, we do shit. You know, if I go to the shooting range, man, I call up some of the homies or basketball game. But I don't know. I think my best friends I do make money with. Yeah.
Okay, this one out. This is actually a good one. Cole Ward is asking, do you ever feel overwhelmed by all the things you have to do in a day, like your calendar always being full of things to do?
You know, being overwhelmed, the activity doesn't cause being overwhelmed or being burnt out. That being overwhelmed, being burnt out does not come from activity. Like if you see children, they'll play all fucking day. They won't fucking stop. They'll be tired at the end, but they're not burnt out, right? It's stress that causes burnout or overwhelm. It's stress. So I manage my stress well. So it's because it's not activity that causes you to feel overwhelmed. It's stress. You get what I'm saying? Because like, let's say, think about it, cold world. If a bunch of fucking sexy chicks hit you up and said, hey man, we having a dick sucking contest and we want you to be the judge, man, but you have to kick it with us and get your dick sucked all day, right? You wouldn't be like, oh fuck, I gotta put my dick in all these chicks' mouths, right? Like, fuck, I'm so overwhelmed, right? It's not the activity, it's the stress, right? Because you do that shit all day. You know what I'm saying? Right? It's the stress. So I manage my stress with meditation, you know, working out and rest. You know, I plan my recreation. So I make sure there is enough recreation in my calendar where it's like, it's still activity, don't like I'm not just fucking chilling, right? If I do some recreational shit, it's like, all right, I'm gonna go to the fucking Heat game, or I'm gonna go to the restaurant with my girl, or maybe even like with the homies, man. Yo, we all having dinner tonight. Yo, let's all pull up, or go to the fucking concert, So I do enough things to manage stress so it doesn't happen. So check your stress levels, not your activity levels.
All right. We got this one. Blue Collar Fitness is asking, what's the video? Did you mention a video?
I don't know what Blue Collar Fitness talking.
Yeah, because I'm not sure.
Oh, I think I said the video about maybe what I said about
at the end of the motivation.
Yeah, it's the video. It's I don't know the name of it.
The one that you talk about motivation, right?
Well, no, the one I talked about wearing
the nicotine patch.
No, the glucose patch. We filmed that over there. I just don't remember because it's like 2 years old. He's gonna post it.
Let me. I look it up.
We'll figure it out.
Okay, Gabriel is back.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel's asking, what is the best computer for movie and video?
Yo, you gotta. Luckily we got Nima here to tell you that.
Well, Gabriel, I think the best right now. I use any M1 or M2 laptop.
Don't they got M3 out now? Or maybe not. I think one of the M's, man.
Yeah, I got the M2 Pro right now, but even the M1 is killing it. Like, depending on what software you use, to be honest, all of them are great.
Yeah.
If you have money, just get the studio then.
The studio.
Yeah.
And then max out. You should max it out. If you max out, I mean, it's gonna cost a lot to max that bitch out.
But to be honest, no matter what, like M2 Pro is just.
Do they have Intel or AMD processors that are matching the M?
You mean to compete with them?
Yeah, are they competitive now? I don't know.
I'm sure they are trying to.
If they haven't, y'all let us know, man. Because I used to build PCs and back in the day, I was like, man, fucking Macs are a waste of money, bro. Because they're using the exact same fucking processor, man. It's like, it's not better. Till that M1 came out, then I was like, okay, this shit is a little different,
It's crazy.
But I'm sure you can get like a quad core AMD. AMD got some fucking shit. I don't know if it's fucking with the M1, but I just don't know. I've been away from the PC side for a long time.
The thing is, they do have it, but the technology that Apple Silicon has, like putting all the hardware in one chip to make it.
The RAM is integrated.
Everything
that's like some new shit. That's they really did something different. That's what made me switch to Mac, because I was on PC for years. I was like, the processors is the fucking same, like exactly the same, till it wasn't. And I was a diehard PC user, man. And now I got fucking 2 Macs. I'm all. I still have a PC because there's some software that there's some trading software that only works on PC.
Yeah, it's just die hard. This is amazing.
Yeah,
no going back from this. El Busy is back, just showing love.
Yeah, showing love. El Busy, shout out to you, brother. You know what I'm saying?
I love you, G. Need that thought repellent.
Yeah, you heard. Yeah, man. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, man. I see you grind it, man. You coming up every week, man.
Yeah. We got Nav. When you're going back to Fresh and Fit?
Man, I think the homies are in Romania as we speak with the other homies, Tate and his brother, Tate brothers. So we'll see, man. They haven't invited me back. It ain't no beef or nothing. I just think they got other shit going on.
This one is not a super chat, but I think it was good to push it up. It says, Brandon, you're one funny guy. You're definitely having as much success as you're having because of your personality, brother. Keep the jokes up.
Hey, thanks, Ship Jumper. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Ship Jumper. A lot of truth in that statement, brother. All right, there's something I haven't done in a long time, and I haven't talked about my favorite books. Right, that changes today. We bring back the segment Book of a Week. Yeah. All right, Book of the Week. So if you want to achieve success in life, if you really want to accomplish your goals, if you want to fulfill your potential and reach your aspirations, you're going to have to learn to focus your attention. Your attention is your most valuable resource. And there's a book that I read that really, and one of the best books on focus. One of the best books on focus is a book called Hyper Focus by the homie Chris Bailey. All right. This is a great book, right? In fact, when I read this shit, this is one of those books that I just read the shit out of. You know, it's like the whole shit is underlined and bookmarked. You know, I read the shit out of this book. And in this video, I want to break down some of the core principles and takeaways I got from this book. Because I know most of you motherfuckers don't read. Now, you want to focus because you want to be more productive so you can accomplish more things, right? And there's 3 ingredients to productivity. Spell that shit right. Close enough, right? It's good. Nice. Yeah, shout out to me, man. Right, 3 ingredients to productivity. All right. So to be more productive, the 3 ingredients are time, energy, you hear that in the background? Oh, that's my alarm. Okay, wait. And time, energy, time, energy, and attention. I'll go get it. You want to go get it? All right, just wait a second. This is live, and there's something going on. You know what? I get it. Nima, I got it. Guys, Nima, just play it up. We'll be right back. Something's happening. I just gotta handle it real quick. This is live, man. So what happens when you live? Hold on. Play the thing. Oh, we need a new. Sorry, guys. I did not make that beat. All right. What I'm about to, the irony I'm about to say is not, I hope it's not going to be lost on you. The 3 ingredients are time, energy, and attention. AKA focus, right? And the main things, and if you have all 3 of these, right? If you spend your time, if you have a lot of energy and you're spending your time, if you're spending that time in a state of high energy and you're paying attention to something, you'll be more productive, right? But the problem is, you know, this is sometimes the most difficult part for people, right? It's difficult for people to maintain focus. It is not necessarily your fault, right? Because the human brain is kind of wired to focus on things that are pleasurable, threatening, or novel, right? That's that's how our brains are wired. And we're kind of fighting against biology when we want to sit down and focus on something kind of boring. But you need to do that in order to accomplish your goals, right? And there's a few things you can do in order to get better at this, right? And the first thing to do is don't multitask. Don't multi. Oh. right? Don't multitask. Like people think that they're good at multitasking. A lot of people think that, right? But no one is, right? And even if they are good at multitasking, they'd be way better if they single task. So your productivity kind of looks like this. If this graph is productivity, just put a P, right? And this graph is the number of tasks you're focusing on, right? So every time you add a new task, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And it just keeps going 7, right? The more you add this, the less productive you are. And there's a sharp decline in productivity, right? And the reason this is because like multitasking is the exact opposite of focusing. It's the exact opposite of focusing, right? And you'd be way more productive if you just focused on one thing at a time, right? And there's actually studies on this, right? There's a study that just shows. Well, hold on. Before I get into that study, right? You're less productive when you focus on multiple things at a time because you're not concentrating. You know, it's kind of like, you know, if you ever seen like a kid with a magnifying glass in the sun, right? And you can like, he's burning ants with the magnifying glass. Because what happens is the sun's rays are concentrated into one single point. So it's more potent, right? But when it's scattered everywhere, it's not potent like that. It can't burn, it can't penetrate, right? But what's even more damaging than that is when you switch tasks, it takes your brain a little bit of time to acclimate to the new task. All right. So every time you switch a task, let's say you're doing something, you're doing task one, you're doing, let me think of, let's see. Okay. Let me try to think about the best way to illustrate this. So let's say I'm working on this task, and this is like one time block. Then I've switched to the next task. There's like a gap in time where it takes a little bit of time for me to acclimate to the new task, right? And you keep doing this, right? However, right, so this is productive time, boom. Then this is like time my brain is acclimating to the new task. And then I finally get into flow, right? Then I switch task. Then I finally get in the flow, right? And what happens is this task is this time is wasted because it's not as productive. However, you could get more done in less time if you just focused on one thing, right? Because even with the same amount of time, if you single focus, boom, you get more done in less time because you don't, it's these gaps you don't have to worry about. And here's a study from Carnegie Mellon University, and it kind of illustrates this, right? This is the number of projects somebody's working on and the time they put into it. And what they show is, right, when you're working on one thing, this is like the working time. This is like the productive time. But when you're switching tasks, you lose. It's called context switching, right? So the more things you're working on, the less things you get done because this time wasted in context switching, right? It takes your brain time to acclimate to the new task, right? So you actually waste time by trying to multitask, right? So what I do is when I'm working, right? My phone is in the other room, notifications are off, and I'm just working, right? And then when I'm with my girl, I'm just with my girl. I'm not doing anything else. When I'm with my son, I'm not doing nothing else. I'm just with my son, right? I really try. I do my best to single task. You've seen this happen. This has all happened to you guys. You've been in the gym and you've been on your phone or you see people on their phone, right? You know, how much time have you wasted on your phone in the gym, right? A workout that should have been fucking 45 minutes end up being 90 minutes because you keep switching tasks. You fucking on Instagram, you doing other shit, right? You've all had this happen. This happens in your work, but this adds up over the course of a fucking day. This is why, like, you might get to the end of the day, like, fuck, man, I feel like I didn't get enough done because you were switching tasks too much, It took your brain time to acclimate. So you definitely want to start single tasking, right? But in order to do that, you're going to have to eliminate distractions. Oh. Eliminate distractions. Right. So here's the thing. There's 4 different kind of tasks. There's stuff that's important. There are tasks that are important. Right. There are tasks that are not important. Then there are tasks that are urgent. Time sensitive stuff. Then there's stuff that's not urgent. Right. And every task kind of fits into one of these 4 categories. Right. Excuse my crooked ass box. Now, when you have something that's important and it's urgent, this is a goddamn crisis. This should not be happening. Right. But it happens sometimes, right? You're fucking driving, tire breaks, tire goes out or some shit, get a flat tire. That's important and urgent. You got to fix that right now. It's a crisis, right? If you have something that's not important and urgent, this is a fucking interruption. Right? Then you have something that's not important and not urgent. This is just a distraction. Right? And you getting ahead in life, right? It falls in something important, but it's usually not urgent. These are your goals. And the reason most people find it difficult to accomplish their goals is because they're dealing with this stuff too much, right? They're dealing with the crisis, they're dealing with the interruptions, and they're dealing with the distractions. Now, a lot of times, this stuff you don't have control over, right? This stuff sometimes you don't have control over, right? If my son's mom calls me, something happens, all right, that's urgent and it's important, right? So, and it's probably nothing I can do, right? I just got to attend to that right now, right? If it's not important and it's urgent, it might be like, I can't think of an example right now, but that shit happens. This is the thing that you have control over, right? That's what you have control over. Oh, fuck. So with these, what you want to do is you deal with these and get back on track, right? These you have, okay, these you deal with ahead of time. You have control over these. So what you want to do is you want to deal with these ahead of time, right? So what that looks like for me is I keep my phone on D&D almost all the time, right? I cannot really get interrupted by my phone. There's no notifications on any social media, which would be crazy because I have millions of followers on every social media. There's no way I could deal with that right now. But even before I had a big following, there was no notifications, right? And even text messages and phone calls don't go through. Like my shit is always on D&D, do not disturb 100% of the time. Or I have these focus modes that I can use. You can do this with iOS. I'm sure Android has a similar functionality, right? They probably had it first. But I have a focus mode where, if something urgent comes, right, from either the only people who can get through to me are things that are like, important and urgent, and it can only be from certain people, right? So my mom can get in touch with me at any time. My girl can get in touch with me at any time. My son's mom can get in touch with me at any time. And the chief operating officer of my business can get in touch with me anytime. Everything else, I get to it when I get to it. So when I'm done with my task, then maybe I'll check my phone. Like after I finish this shit, then maybe I'll check my phone and I'll reply. But here's the thing: instead of replying to everybody throughout the day, I reply to everybody in like a time block. And guess what? I get that done more faster too. So I've trained everybody in my life to know that, hey man, I won't get to you right away, but I will get to you. Most likely. But even then I get that done faster, right? Because I plan the distractions ahead of time and I make sure they don't happen. And then a third thing you can do is practice focus, right? You have to get good at focusing, right? And you have to practice focus. And the only way I know to do that is to just get good at single tasking instead of multitasking, right? And you get better at that over time. But the fastest way to do that is to meditate. So I've been meditating for about 15 years now. Now my practice has changed over the years, but now I meditate twice a day, 20 minutes each session, right? And what happens is when you're meditating, basically, I don't use any apps or anything like that. I just sit in silence and I focus on my breath, right? And when my mind starts to wander, and it will, right? I just bring my attention back to my breath. And every time I bring my attention back to my breath, it's like a rep. You know what I'm saying? It's like a focused workout, and bringing my attention back, recognizing that I've lost focus. I started thinking about fucking money, business, titties or something, right? And then I bring my focus back to my breath. It's a rep. And I don't judge myself. I don't get mad. I just like, oh, all right, cool. Here's another rep. Good. And what happens is you get better at it. And that it makes it easy for you to single task instead of getting distracted over time, right? And there's tons of other benefits of meditation. Studies show that people who meditate get sick less. It actually, they get sick less. It improves their immune system. It's a fucking crazy list of benefits. It helps with depression. Studies show that meditation helps with depression, mood, well-being, and just a number of great benefits. But I started doing it to make more money. If I'm gonna be honest with you, man, all that health shit, all that mental shit is cool, but I knew that it was a way for me to practice focus and to get better at focus. And the better I am at focusing, the more money I make. You know what I'm saying? I have a video all about meditation and how I learned to it. Yeah, you should check that video out right now. The link is going to be somewhere around here. And also check out the book Hyper Focus, because he went into way more detail on it. And it's a fucking fantastic book. Like I've read it multiple times. I have almost every page fucking marked up. It's a great book. I highly recommend it. And check out that video on meditation to learn more. Cool, man. What any other super duper chats or?
Yes. Let me put this up. So Fahita is saying Stefan Donier, I hope you said it right, has a TED talk about marginal improvement.
All right, I don't know what that's in reference to, but I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah, he said it, I think, when you were talking about focus. But
yeah.
All
right, cool.
And Cold War is also back, just thanking. Thanks, Brandon.
You're welcome, Cold World. All right, man. We got 8 more minutes. I ain't got nothing else to say. If there's no super chats, do I just play new beats or? Oh, yo, check it out, guys. Here's one thing we're doing. Something you need to know. Yeah, I should have said this on the beginning. Well, we're doing me and my homie. Hey, guys, here's what some you need to know. I just bought my first rental property. You know what I'm saying? I'm a real estate investor now. You know what I'm saying? And it was Section 8 real estate. I only had to put fucking $2,000 down for that bitch. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to get a Section 8 tenant in there. And I plan on getting way more. I learned to do it from my boy, Tom Cruise. And we're real excited. We're going to show you, we're doing a free class this Monday, a free training on how you can learn how to do Section 8 real estate. You definitely want to register for that. The link is in the description, man. Go register for that shit. For real. Like this shit is working, man. I actually bought my first crib.
It's the first link, guys.
Yeah, first link in the description. Check that shit out.
You got Dead of Night.
All right.
If you were a musical artist, how would you gain a following on IG or TikTok? By the way, I'd be happy to mix and master one of your new beats on the house to make it bang like commercial. Right?
Hey, thanks, Dead of Night. You know, I just be throwing fucking ozone on my shit. You know, isotope ozone on my shit, and hit one of the presets. That knocks. So like, but getting a better master would be better. You know, I mean, it's weird. You know, the arts is so fucking strange because, you know, I used to be signed to Sony Records as a rapper and producer, right? I got signed out of college. Then I got dropped when they merged with BMG. And, you know, I just noticed that the arts are finicky because, like, you can play a song and it can be your favorite song and I can hate it. Or I can play my favorite song and you can hate it. And we're both right because it's subjective. That's why I always like business, because it was similar to sports, right? Like, it's just numbers, right? The sports, the fucking, the ball went in the hoop or it didn't. You know what I'm saying? And business is just math, right? Hey, look, you either sold the product or you didn't. But art is just subjective, and there's so much other shit. So to get attention though, what I would do is what I was doing. So here's what I was doing, man. I had the game plan. Hold on. So back in the day, I had a studio and I play instruments and shit. And I was like, hold on. There was this girl that she was a singer, and I was like, yo, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna produce your shit, right? But we're gonna get you popular. We just gonna do covers of fucking songs, right? We're just gonna do covers of songs. And then, you know, that shit works. Because, you know, especially the songs that are popular, because, you know, people are searching for it, right? And, you know, it was working, but, you know, nobody wants to do that grind. But I would do shit like if you're a rapper, I would rap over other people's beats or some shit like that. I seen a producer where he'll remake other people's beats, right? But he does it to sell his beats, and then he sells packs. I would do that, but this was the game plan. But would you take me on a regular? Hold on, this week. Well, baby, I've been. Oh, yeah, you play it. You play, man. But I ain't seen myself. Watch me play the guitar. Nice. You know what I'm saying? It's like this shit would have worked if we would have kept doing it. But, you know, she got impatient, and she was a good singer, right? So we were just doing acoustic covers of shit. I would have kept doing that. And then over years, we would have amassed a following, and people would have gave a fuck about her music, right? So I seen another producer. He remakes, like, you know, Travis Scott song comes out. What he'll do is he remakes their beat, Travis's beat, live. And like shows you how to make the beat. And he's got like mad views, right? But he does that to sell his beats and to sell his shit. If I was a rapper, I would fucking rap over other people's beats. You know what I'm saying? If I was a singer, I would do acoustic covers and use their popularity. And mostly YouTube, especially on YouTube, because YouTube's a search engine. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do. I would leverage other people's shit. And then once you get a following, then you can put out your own shit when people give a fuck. Because once they actually like you. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. This is not. You ever seen a nigga rap and play the guitar? Hold on. Let me show you. That's how we gonna end this shit. Hold on. This is an acoustic version of My Love by Justin Timberlake and T.I. And then I rap T.I.'s part. Because it's a cover. My love. Nice time to get him. You know what I'm saying? It's T.I.'s part. You ever seen a nigga play the guitar? Hold up.
Shorty cool as a fan on the move once again. Still have fans in Peru and Japan. Listen, baby, I don't want to ruin with your plans, but if you got a man, try to lose him if you can. Cause the girls worldwide throw their hands up high when they want to come kick it with a stand-up guy. You don't really want to let the chance go by, cause you ain't been seen with a man so fly. France so fly, I can go fly. Private cause I handle my BI. They call me Candle Guy, simply cause I am on fire. Hate to have to cancel my vacation, but you can't deny I'm patient, but I ain't gon' try. You don't come, I ain't gon' die. Hold up, what you mean you can't go? Why? Me and your boyfriend, we ain't no tie. You say you wanna kick it when I ain't so high. Girl, it's obvious that I ain't your guy. I ain't gon' lie. I feel your space. If you get your face, I swear I will. Same bar, same books, anywhere I chill. Bring with me any pair I will.
To this day, we ain't seen a nigga rap and play the guitar simultaneously. I'm just saying, that shit would have worked if she didn't get impatient. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, whatever, fuck it, nigga. I'm gonna start a fitness business. But basically, like, my social media growth, especially on YouTube, was based off giving people what they were searching for, right? So if people were searching for Justin Timberlake and T.I., they was hot 10 years ago, 11 years ago, however old this is, right? That shit would have worked. That shit would have worked if we would have kept doing it. And so when I was doing my fitness shit, I just, whatever people were searching for, right? So like if you look at like my old videos, go to my old videos from back in the day. I'm gonna search it by Otis. Right. What you see is this is what people were searching for. I was like searching shit on YouTube. I was using I don't know if they still have this. You can tell me, Nima. I was using Google keyword tool.
No, there's the
Google Trends. That's the new shit, right? So I see what people were searching for. People were searching for how to build muscle and burn fat. So that was like in every fucking title. And how to get a six pack. And like I would do shit like this, like keyword stuffing, where I knew people were searching how to get a six pack, but sometimes they would search it with the number 6, sometimes with the word 6. So I just put them both in the title. There was one video, it was like Fast and Furious 6 that came out. So I called this shit Fast and Furious 6-pack workout, how to get a 6-pack fast. So I was just like, whatever people were searching for is what I was fucking putting in, was what I was making the content about, and I would do something similar with an artist. That's the only way you're gonna like penetrate, Yeah, this has been another episode of Victory Talk. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Make sure you sign up for the free training, me and my boy Tom, on Section 8 real estate. We're doing that on Monday. You don't want to miss out on that. All right, guys. Peace.